it's Amanda and welcome to Election Day. Let's vote. Okay, first things first, it's pretty gloomy and raining outside, so it looks all weird. Also, I'm sick and very tired. I haven't slept in like 3 days, so that's why my face looks like this and my voice sounds like this. So I'm sorry, we're gonna power through. Also, I might be talking faster than usual, which is how I actually talk, and people are always telling me to slow down except when I'm teaching or filming, so I'm very sorry. Just so you know, in the video, you can actually go to the settings and you can change the speed. If it's really a problem, I'm not gonna talk this fast the whole time. I'm just on a very specific time crunch right now. Like, I have a very small window when I can film this video, but I really wanted to do it, so we're gonna do it. Okay, so I created a tag, you guys. It's called the voting day tag, okay? And basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna vote for positions in our state. So this is a fictional state. It is based on real positions. The candidates that I'm gonna elect are also fictional characters and things like that from movies or books or TVs or whatever. I will be doing a different version of this tag, which will be all fantasy, so I'll make up the positions and stuff too, which is gonna be so fun. But I thought, since today is actually November 6th, 2018, and it is election day, I thought that it would be best if I did real positions. Some of these positions don't translate to every state or can't be elected in every state. Sometimes they're appointed. So feel free, if you decide to do this tag, to change it the way that you need to fit where you live or to fit your country, to fit, fit the positions that you actually have, whatever, what have you. Like I said, today is November 6th, 2018, and it is the midterm elections today, which most people don't really pay attention to because they don't think are as important, because they're like, Amanda, don't you know there's still 2 more years of this in the presidency? Yeah, I will never forget. Yeah, of course. But the midterm elections often is when you can elect people who work directly with the presidency. This is halfway through their term. This is when you decide who gets to work with them, depending on when your representatives are up for election. So it is still very important, just like a presidential election. Also, I have to say, of course, if you are somebody who doesn't vote, maybe you're thinking that you don't know enough, please, I encourage you to just look some stuff up. Look up the issues and look up all of the perspectives around the issues. Make sure when you're looking at something or looking at someone, looking at an issue, you're looking at it through a historical lens, you're looking through it as an economic lens, a scientific lens, a humanitarian lens, a lens that is based in fact. This is so important. A lot of people like to believe that those things don't actually matter in an issue, especially history. You know, the past is in the past, but the present is the way that it is because of the past. And history only ever repeats itself because we don't pay attention to history and we don't learn from it. We don't allow it to teach us, and we don't understand how much it influences the present. So I beg you to do some educating, to do some research, to look at these issues, to think about what matters to you, because they do affect you. If you are somebody who thinks, you know what, Amanda, I just don't care, I'm just not into it. Well, people always say, like, I'm not into politics. Politics isn't really something that you're into. I think they confuse it with, like, partisanship. Politics is about creating policy. Yes, there are parties, and that can be very frustrating and annoying, but it's about creating policies. And if you're somebody that doesn't care, you're likely probably very privileged in the sense that you don't even know, because you are affected no matter what, but maybe you don't know how much you're affected and you're not thinking about the way that other people are affected. Policy affects us in our everyday life, okay? And it affects some people differently than others. You have to think about the other perspective. Understand that your existence is not the only existence. So if you really, really genuinely don't care, I'm going to encourage you to look deep inside and to find a way to care. Not just for your sake, but for everybody else's. I'm literally going to beg you. I don't have that much pride. I mean, I do, but not like toxic pride. You know, I will beg you to vote. It's fine. If you're thinking, Amanda, don't you know voting doesn't matter? Weren't you there during the election of 2016? Yes, I was. And the presidential election in the United States is a weird thing. And no other election, the midterm election, no other democracy in the world works that way, where they have the popular vote and the electoral vote, and the electoral vote is what wins. What happens with that is that the electoral college is a group of people that vote based on who wins each state. Typically, they don't have to, but that's typically what they do. So your vote in the state does matter, because if your candidate wins that vote, they get all of those electoral votes. It's like the action potential, okay? It's an all or nothing thing. If they win that state, they get all of those votes, whether that is fair or not. And there are multiple times in history where the popular vote and the electoral college vote have been different, and the electoral college vote elects the president, even though the popular vote showed that the other candidate should have won. So you might be thinking, Amanda, that's dumb. Yeah, you're right. And like I said, no other true democracy in the world actually uses it. And you also might be thinking, that is illogical and unjust. And you know what? It's rooted and based on ideals and bias and very specific intentions from almost 2.5 centuries ago. Yeah. You also might think it kind of undermines the vote. You're right. You know what you can do about it? You can elect candidates who will fight for you, who believe in the same that you do. You can bring up these issues and say, what can you do? What is another option? This clearly, something funky's going on here, right? The only way that you can really do anything is to vote. Now, if you're somebody who can't vote, maybe you're not registered, well, you know what? Get registered today. Do it. It's not that difficult. You can do it right online. Get registered. If you can't vote for other reasons, I encourage you just to still be up to date kind of on what's going on, or be kind of educated about the issues. And if you want to take an active role, you can still take an active role even if you're not a registered voter. I am a registered voter, but I did actually this past Sunday canvass, which was so fun, you guys. It was awesome. Also, I don't know if you see, Nope Wyatt 2016. Yeah. So there are other ways that you can get involved, and hopefully in the future you will be able to vote, because really every vote does matter, you guys. If you are somebody that already votes, I am sorry, but I just can't pass up an opportunity to encourage people to vote and to express how important it is to vote. The purpose of government is for those people to provide services for and to protect you. And the only way to have control over who does that is to vote. It does matter. It matters more than you probably even realize. They determine virtually everything. They determine restrictions, they determine laws, they determine policies, everything. It is so important to vote. You have a voice. You have a vote. I am literally begging you to vote. What if you don't do it today, please do it in the future. Please learn about your community. Please learn about the issues that are going on and take action. Okay, with all of that being said, with my little rambly whatever going on, I'm not gonna apologize because it's important, people. Let's get into the actual tag. So first things first, if you are going to do this tag, you don't have to do it the same way that I do, because I'm doing a little bit more of an interactive way, and there's gonna be another part to it. So if you wanna do it, you could always just do the positions and the candidates, and that's that, and like tell us who you're voting for and whatever. But here's how this is gonna go for me. So I have taken positions that are electable positions in some states, again, not all, and of course the position of president, which I'm actually really impressed with my candidates. Like I was like, whoa, I did a good job in that, like that's cool. So basically I chose fictional candidates for those positions. Now, I thought of candidates based on people that I would want to win and want to be in that position, maybe people that I think would run even if I wouldn't vote for them or don't think that they would be successful. Maybe they think they're successful. Or maybe there are people that would just want that kind of power. They would run for election to be in control, to do whatever, to push their own agenda, whatever. So there are a million reasons that you can put a candidate in there. And you do that for each of the positions. And then what I'm going to do is up here in the corner, I think it's this side. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. There is a little eye. If you click on that eye, all of the positions and the candidates will drop down, and you can vote on who you want to win. There's also a little write-in piece, because every true democracy in the world has a write-in box. So you can click on that if you want, and you can, like in the comments, put write-in and then the position and then who you want in that position. Or you can just do the tag. So I've decided the candidates, you're going to vote for them. I, of course, am also going to vote, but I'm not going to tell you who I vote for. So in a real election, you get like a day to vote, right? But this is YouTube, so it's a little bit different, and we're going to do this differently. You are going to get from November 6th, 2018 to January 21st, 2019 to have an active part in the vote. After that, if you're watching it, you can still vote. That's totally fine. Do your thing. But it won't be part of the official inauguration that I'm going to do. Here's the thing with our election. So the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November of election year is the election. Whatever candidate wins will be your next representative, will be the next person in that position. But they are not actually inaugurated. They do not take that position until the following January. So we're gonna do an inauguration ceremony where I'm gonna tell you who I voted for, and I'm gonna tell you who you voted for our state and who won. So please, if you're watching this between those times, still vote. Please, 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 please. I really hope people vote for this. Otherwise, you know. So that's how it's gonna go. I'm sorry if it's a lot. Again, like I said, if you're doing this on your own, you don't have to do it that way. You could really just be like, oh, these are people that I think would run. This is who I voted for. Who do you think? Let me know. Whatever, okay? Whew. Without further ado, let's do this. So for each position, I am going to tell you a very brief, like a grossly simplified version of the position. We're gonna start with our treasurer. So the treasurer is basically like the banker for our state, okay? They're gonna handle our money and our finances and all of that. For the treasurer, my candidates are going to be Mark Watney from The Martian, So let me know who you would vote for, who you would think would be the best treasurer, who you would trust the most to manage your money. The next position that we're gonna do is the Attorney General. So basically this individual is like the state legal advisor. They give legal advice to the state government. The candidates for this are Jaime Lannister from Game of Thrones, Steve Rogers or Captain America from Marvel, and Star Carter from The Hate U Give. I would like to point out, if a candidate is not of age technically, like in the world that they exist in, imagine that this is in the future when they have grown, they are an adult, they have the education, they have the requirements, everything. Imagine that everybody's qualified technically for this position. So the next position is Secretary of State. Basically, Secretary of State is kind of like a coordinator. Again, this varies, but they typically coordinate things that are going on in the state. So my candidates for this position are McGonagall from Harry Potter and Peeta Mellark from The Hunger Games. So let me know what you think. The next position is going to be the governor of the state. So the governor is basically like the commander-in-chief of that specific state. Okay, so for this, my candidates are Augustus Waters from The Fault in Our Stars, Leslie Knope from Parks and Rec, and Tony Stark or Iron Man from Marvel. The next position that we're gonna vote on is the senator. Every state gets 2 senators that you get to elect. And basically a senator is in charge of like making laws and policies and such and working within the other branches of government and with the House of Representatives and such to create laws. So my candidates for this are Cinder from Cinder by Marissa Meyer and Peter Parker or Spider-Man from Marvel. Again, adult Peter Parker. I was thinking more like Civil War Peter Parker. Also Cinder, like adult, grown, qualified candidates. The next position you're gonna vote on is the representative. So this is part of the House of Representatives, which, as I said, works with the Senate and other parts of the government. Every state gets a different number of representatives depending on your state. It's not like the Senate where everybody only gets 2. This is a little bit different, but they essentially do very similar things, though there are some discrepancies. For this position, here are my candidates. Cersei from Game of Thrones, Anne or Annie, is A-N-N-E Anne or Annie? Please let me know. I'm sorry, just let me know. From Blackhearts, or Ben Wyatt from Parks and Rec. And now, what we have all been waiting for, we're gonna vote for the president of our everything. So basically the president is the commander-in-chief of all of the states of the country, as you probably know. So in this country, every president runs with a vice president candidate. So I did that. I did like a president and who their vice president would be. So you get to vote on that group of people. Okay, here are the candidates for president and vice president. Fred and George Weasley, or George and Fred Weasley. Honestly, you'd never be able to tell. They're from Harry Potter. Hermione Granger as president, Ginny Weasley as vice president, also from Harry Potter. And Lord Voldemort running with Dolores Umbridge, also from Harry Potter. Okay, so now please go vote for these candidates who you think should run for office. This is so fun. I'm so excited to do this. Vote here and vote in real life, please, I'm begging you. I hope you enjoyed watching this tag. Let me know what you thought about it. I know it's like a little bit different than typical tags, so just let me know your thoughts below. I'm not actually going to actively tag anybody in this. When I do future tags like this, because I will continue doing them even if nobody watches them because I think it's important. In future tags, when I do like my fantasy world and other kind of versions, I will probably tag people in them if this is something that people want to do. The thing is, I don't know if people want to do it. I encourage them to and would love them to, of course, not just because I made the tag, but because I think, again, voting is important. You know, even if you get to do it kind of in this fictional thing, you know, maybe it'll give you some power to feel like you can do it in real life because you can, you know? So we'll see how this goes, but I'm not going to actively tag anybody, but please, as always, like if you're watching this and you want to do it, please do it. If you want to use less candidates, if you want to tell us who you're voting for, change the positions, that's totally fine. Do your thing. Thank you so very much for watching. I am pretty excited about this. Go vote for the candidate that's going to represent you and serve in your best interest and the best interest of your community and your country, really. Okay, so now I have to go to work and also find a way to edit and post this today. So I'm gonna do that. I hope you have a wonderful day or night or whenever you're watching this. Please don't forget to vote. You have quite a bit of time to be active in this specific tag and then still you could always continue to vote. Thank you again so much for watching. I have good social media and such linked down below. I accept everyone on Goodreads. I'm on Twitter, all of that jazz. So that's linked down below if you feel. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it and you don't mind watching my face. And I will see you later. Bye!